Greetings, everybody. My name is Linda Smith, and I'm your MC tonight. Please mute your mics, and please put your questions in the chat. This presentation will be recorded, so if you do not want to be recorded, you need to turn off your video and your mic. If you happen to experience audio issues, you can also try to turn off your video to save your bandwidth, as Mary said. So welcome to the Equity and Inclusion and Justice Committee meeting, Building Bridges, the Loxahatchee Group, and the Glades. We're glad you're all with us tonight. This is a brief agenda of the meeting. We're going to have some opening Sierra Club Loxahatchee Group news and information. Then we're going to have Patrick Ferguson present Stop the Burn. And then we're going to have a panel discussion with Kina and Colin. These sessions will be followed by question and answer. We'll be taking all the questions and answers in the chat. During the past month, our executive committee has been working hard behind the Zoom scenes. Our governance consists of 9 executive committee members and all of our hardworking officers, committee chairs, and members. We would love to have you join us. We have a very special presentation tonight for an award of outstanding achievement. And this is probably a bit of a surprise for Mary, although maybe someone let the cat out of the bag. Mary Cassell.
Oh, we hear a hoop and a holler back here.
Yeah. Yay.
Okay. That is a surprise.
Well, Mary lives in Delray, and she has worked on the Cool Cities Delray campaign. She has served as our chair for the executive committee for 4 years. She has been a member of the Loxahatchee Group for over 15 years, and she's continuing to serve on the executive committee. She is the leader of the Elaine Usherson Scholarship Committee and has served on membership and fundraising committees. So let's all see if we can figure out how to give Mary a big Zoom round of applause. For those that have their computer on, it's on the lower bottom row and something that might say
what's the password?
Reactions, and it's either going to be a hand clap or a thumbs up. So thank you, Mary. Would you like to say anything? Since it was a surprise, you may not have.
Yeah, it was a total surprise. No one let the cat out of the bag. So thank you for all the congratulations. And I'm seeing in the chat, you guys are all exceedingly hardworking group. So I always get a lot out of learning from this group. Thanks all. I'll go to
well, thank you, Mary. You deserve a big round of applause.
I did.
So this wouldn't be a Sierra Club meeting without talking about conservation. So we are reminding everyone who is interested in installing or just interested in getting some information on solar to join the Solar United Neighbors meeting March 16th or April 15th. There is information on our website with links if you're interested. And membership. The Loxahatchee Group would obviously be nothing without our members, but like all non-staff nonprofits, we need your help. So please feel free to reach out to one of our committee chairs or leaders and find a spot where you can work with us. Tonight, we are spotlighting a new member, Sandy Schwartz. She is a freelance writer, editor, blogger, and soon to be author of a parenting book. She has held positions in the environmental field at the EPA and the National Academy of Science. She has also worked on an environmental consulting firm. And most impressively, she has agreed to become the editor of our Turtle Tracks newsletter. So let's give Sandy a big Zoom thumbs up this time, just to change it up. And speaking of the Turtle Tracks and our newsletter, all members should be receiving our Turtle Tracks newsletter. But if you're not, please go to our Sierra Club Loxahatchee Group website and sign up. you are able to submit articles for the turtle tracks. We have a submission deadline of the 20th of each month. And now we have just another special person joining us tonight, Rabbi Barry Silver. He was our 2020 environmental champion. Rabbi Silver served on the Florida House of Representatives, where he was named most effective environmental legislator by the Sierra Club, and consumer champion by Florida's largest consumer group. Rabbi Silver is currently representing a local homeowners association's environmental group fighting its own board. They're fighting over the removal of almost 300 mahogany trees. This trial may actually impact our current Palm Beach County codes. So let's all give a big thumbs up or round of applause, your choice this time, for Barry Silver. And he would like to take this moment to say a few words. Go ahead, Barry.
Thank you so much for this honor. I appreciate it very much. Are you hearing me okay? I'm hearing an echo.
A little bit of an echo.
Let's see if I can.
Just turn off the mic on the
Turn off which microphone?
On your computer.
You'll see a
On
little
mine,
mic.
it's F9. It's up in the F keys.
Oh.
You sounded better then. Go ahead, Barry. Let's give it a
FT?
try.
FT?
Yep,
How's that?
that's good.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yep,
Hello?
yep, we can hear you now. But now you can't hear us. That's the problem.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Barry. Go ahead. Barry, we can hear you.
No, it was okay. No.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you, Barry.
Why did it?
Perhaps, Barry, someone can
Just
put in the chat for you to turn your computer back on so you can hear us, because we can hear you fine. Or someone can just tell him we hear him. He can go right ahead. Oh dear. Technology is failing us now. Yep, Barry, you're good. You're good to go, Barry.
I don't know.
Hello?
Barry, we can hear you fine. Go right ahead. You can't hear us.
Okay, I'll keep
Okay.
talking.
Okay.
Hey, thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate the honor. And I thank Drew and Kay Gates, who I've known for many years, for suggesting my name. I consider them to be very good friends and certainly deserving of all the accolades that we could offer. They describe a friend as someone who knows all about you and likes you anyway. And so I appreciate their friendship. And I congratulate Sierra Club on standing up for the sugar industry. I was once asked in the legislature by the sugar industry if I thought there were two sides to every question. And I said, yes, there's two sides to every question. There's your side and there's the truth. And we do need to stand up to them, and I thank you for doing that. I also congratulate you on working with civil rights groups, Black Lives Matter, to try to understand how racism and environmentalism go hand in hand. I am working with the people at Tivoli Lakes to try to protect all the mahogany trees. I've also asked the county to reconsider handing out permits to any community in the county that wants to cut down trees. It's a really terrible thing. And I think that Sierra Club has been instrumental in helping in this battle. It was 25 years ago. I see somebody's telling me that there's a bad echo. So
Now
go to
it's fine.
participants and mute people.
It just got better. Keep trying.
I'm looking at the chat. Should I keep going, or is the echo
Yeah,
pretty
you're
bad?
good. Keep going.
The echo just got better. Keep going.
But let's see. Yeah, go ahead and speak. Now we don't hear him.
Okay. Let me just say some things very briefly. I am going to commit to fighting any new development in the ag reserve. I don't care how much money somebody has or how much influence they have. We need to draw a line in the sand and not allow any more development in the ag reserve. It was supposed to be reserved for agriculture. There's no way we should allow people to destroy it. And I recommend with the Sierra Club that we tell the county commissioners, if they vote to approve any more development in the ag reserve, we will mobilize a tremendous force and take them out of office. I think we need to draw the line in the sand. And I care about the ag reserve because my name is Silver and the chemical symbol for silver is AG. So I feel strongly about this. I don't want it to disappear. And I'm committing to the Sierra Club. If you want to fight this, I will take it on not only as an activist and a rabbi and a former legislator, I will file lawsuits free of charge in order to stop this from happening, as well as against anyone who wants to tear down all the trees in any community. I also want to say this. We now have a new administration that offers a glimmer of hope to saving this planet.
A glimmer.
But we can't just say, oh, good, we have someone who believes in climate change, we're done. We're not done, this is just the beginning. We all need to mobilize because the government can't do anything without us. So let us make sure that we work hand in hand with the government. Because before we had someone who thought come hellish fires of the high waters of the Gulf, they were fiddling while California and Australia and the Amazon burned and our kids' future literally went up in smoke. Let us continue to work hard with the government. The final thing I want to say is this. Drew and Kay have been working for decades. It was 25 years ago that they helped me out and joined with the Environmental Coalition. I have their t-shirt. I don't know if you can see it that we created. They've been incredible warriors for so long. And my yarmulke is off to them. I thank them for all that they've been doing. Your goal of building bridges with other organizations is critical. And what I want to suggest is this. We need to have a spiritual transformation in America and in the world so that we recognize that Earth and the universe and nature is the best evidence of a power greater than ourselves. Now, I know that there are people out there who have no use for religion at all. They consider religion to be the enemy and the devil, and I do not blame them. There are many religions, and it's not one religion or another. It's not Judaism versus Christianity or Islam. Within every religion, there's two types. One type thinks that this earth is dispensable and there's a better place waiting for us afterwards. And in order for us to get to that better place, this earth has to be destroyed. It's a death wish and it's dangerous and we need to combat it. Within all of the religions, there's another way of looking at it, that this earth is a beautiful manifestation of a power greater than ourselves, and that this earth is all there is. And religion is not one group against another. We're God's chosen and you're not. It's recognizing all life, human life, all animal life, all life on the planet to be one. And religion should be the story of humanity and are trying to live in harmony with nature and the earth as the Native Americans did. I urge Sierra Club to make partnerships with religions. You can start with Congregation Lador Vador. We're in lockstep with you. And to recognize that if we could untap the power of the religious community, to recognize that to destroy nature is sacrilege, and to cause other animals to go into extinction is the worst form of blasphemy, and that the religious goal and motto for the entire planet should be that all religions should drive us to work together to save Earth. That should be a common goal of all humanity. And that is something that I will commit myself to. I look forward to working with many other groups. I look forward to working with Sierra Club as well. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much for this honor. And as we celebrate Passover with the 10 plagues, when Pharaoh's heart was hardened, we recognize we have many, many plagues in this earth. And mostly it's because of our hard heart towards other living things. So let us not succumb to these plagues. And if we all work together, we'll get to the promised land. I thank you very much for this honor. It means a tremendous amount to me, more than you'll know. And I will do everything I can to show that I'm worthy of it. And I thank you, and I look forward to working together in the future on the solar co-op, which I'm working on. And also this Saturday, we have an event with the Black community to celebrate Black History Month. Sierra Club is welcome there at Bryant Park. Let us work together hand in hand. Religion, science, government, and environmental groups. Thank you so much.
Right on, Barry.
Thank you, Barry. Very well said. I don't quite know where to go with that, but I'll just go to the next slide then, I guess. Just this is a recap of some of the things that are coming up in the future. We have the 2-night ICO-sponsored Virtual Outdoors Film Festival. Then I also already have mentioned the Solar United Neighbors. So if you're interested in that, please go to one of their meetings. And also I encourage everyone to sign the petition against single-use plastics. This is going to be going to Publix because Publix is a pretty big thing for plastic bags. And I know I walk around my neighborhood and I pick up trash, pounds and pounds of plastic trash every week. So this is the next month's meeting is the Lake Worth Lagoon watershed, its history and its current fight. This watershed encompasses almost all of Palm Beach County from Lake Okeechobee to the Atlantic. Bernardo Diaz is a member of the Water Keepers, the Lake Worth Water Keepers specifically, and he will be presenting. I'm going to ask now if there are any questions in the chat regarding any of these intro slides. And I believe, Mary, you were going to look through those.
Okay. Not yet.
Okay, then we shall proceed. So without any further ado, let me introduce Patrick Ferguson, the Sierra Club's organizing representative for the Stop the Burn campaign. He will be followed by Keena Phillips and Colin Waltz. Speakers, please be sure to unmute yourselves at this time and take it away, Patrick.
All right. Well, thank you very much for inviting us all on to have this important conversation we want to facilitate tonight. Just really quickly, I'd like to cover some recent updates that our campaign has been dealing with and on our radar. But first and foremost, just wanted to give a brief overview that, you know, despite all the challenges that the pandemic posed in 2020, 2020 was definitely a huge year in, you know, elevating awareness of the important environmental justice issue of pre-harvest sugar field burning. And I know many of you all present tonight within the LOX group have been strong allies whenever we've had a call to action and really, you know, supported us in getting the word out. But, you know, really the goal of the discussion tonight is to explore how the Loxahatchee group and the Stop the Burn campaign, our work in the Glades, there can be more bridges built, so that we can, take this collaboration a step forward. But without further ado, really quick, I know the previous slide, I could cover the FDAX. There we go. So you all probably have gotten a heads up action alert about Senate Bill 88. So just to give a quick rundown, this bill came on our radar, being sponsored by Senator Broder, when we saw it was a very broad extension to the already extensive legal protections within the Right to Farm Act that protect practices like pre-harvest sugar field burning from nuisance lawsuits. But we particularly saw this to be focused in on sugarcane burning, as the language of the bill sought to include particulate matter pollution as a protected farming practice from lawsuits. And outside of just a nuisance protection, this has included also protection from negligence lawsuits, strict liability, personal injury, and a broad range of obstacles to be put in place, which fundamentally would prevent residents from all over Florida to bring suit against any sort of large-scale agricultural toxic practice that impacts surrounding communities. So as far as next steps on that, right now the bill is still in a state of flux. We don't expect another formal action item until a couple weeks. And that'll be either when a companion House bill is put together or the Senate bill hits the floor. So all I can tell you is that stay tuned, and we'll continue to keep you informed on that front. And also just to clarify that although this focuses and can have an impact on the ongoing class action lawsuit pertaining to pre-harvest sugar field burning, that our Stop the Burn campaign and none of our leaders are litigants or involved with that. But nonetheless, this goes beyond the long-term impacts of this bill goes beyond just impacting that lawsuit in enshrining further unjust protections for outdated toxic practices like pre-harvest sugar field burning that as an organization we can't let slide. So we can go on to the next slide. And yes, so another major thing our campaign has been focused on it over the past month is that on January 1st, it was the implementation of Commissioner Freed's phase 2, quote unquote, improvements. So after waiting about 5 months, we finally got a public records request response so that we could really see what the details of these changes are. And to sum them up, it's really just more of the same, hence more smoke and mirrors. For instance, there's new sugarcane burn zones that have been created and new changes to the wind zone requirements for approving the permits. However, still there's prioritized protection for communities in Eastern Palm Beach County. And then when the only changes we've seen is that when the winds now blow towards the Glades communities in excess of 15 miles per hour, instead of denying those burn permits, there's rules that they have to institute backfires, which are viewed as a means of reducing the overall smoke and ash impacts. But our research has shown that due to the nature of the muck soils, it can create more muck fires, which causes a whole other host of ozone type ground level pollution, in addition to increasing rates of soil erosion in the region. But nonetheless, it misses the whole point of what our campaign demand has been all about. And that has been for Commissioner Freed to institute a protective buffer zone that prioritize the protection of the most impacted communities from sugarcane burning in the glades, all while leading to a full incentivizing the industry to slowly transition fully into green harvesting, which is the only real long-term solution. And, certainly as we've gotten into the past, brings a whole new slew of opportunities such as green jobs and economic opportunity for the Glades communities, in addition to addressing the pollution impacts. So I encourage you all to check out this press release. We posted it this morning, and it's actually been picked up by the Boca Tribune. And we're hoping it gets more traction as well. And you're going to find a couple questions within the body of that letter that Commissioner Freed has still not answered. And I encourage you all to, you can just copy and paste those questions and ask Commissioner Freed to stop ignoring the demands of our campaign. And certainly we have things in the works in addition to new research, which we will, that is very insightful, that we'll let you know when that is published. And also our coalition building is greatly expanding to the point where Commissioner Freed is not going to be able to ignore our campaign demands for environmental justice for much longer. And I certainly encourage you all to continue to help us amplify our campaign demands. And we're making a lot of progress, and you all are certainly a part of that. But without further ado, I would now like to facilitate a conversation that has really been started, a while back. Is how can the Loxahatchee group, work to get more involved, not just with our campaign work, but with the Glades communities in general. And the best place to really start is, to hear from community leaders in the Glades and Colin Walks. And so without further ado, many of you, I'm sure on this call have heard Keena speak in the past, but she's one of the founding members of the Stop the Burn campaign, and really embodies the heart and soul of what this campaign is all about. So Keena, why don't you take it away to get this discussion started?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am so humble and delighted to be here. I just want to show my appreciation for everyone that has considered the injustice that we're going through, have considered and have even just had a voice, share an article, spoke out about it so that it would be known. I've been in a part of this organization, like I am one of the founders, and I've been a part of this group for over 6 years. And when something come knocking at your door, you answer the call. You don't just shut the door. So I decided to answer. Answer the door and answer the call to what was knocking at my door. And so we live in a community that is rural, and everybody know that. And our ancestors have slept on the injustice that has happened in our community for years, due to desperation, due to the lack of knowledge, due to the lack of education, due to, just really trying to put food on their family tables. It's been a whole lot of intimidation that has happened within our community, and still is happening right now today. Our peoples are afraid to speak up against something that they know is slowly killing them. And so I thank the Lord that I am bold enough to stand in the paint, to get in the fight, to, and understand that even though, the sugar company come as a giant, I am the giant. I understand that they're no more powerful than I allow them to be. Money isn't everything. You might have millions and billions of dollars, but once we begin to start pulling the community together and having them to understand that they have a voice and to stand up against injustice and understand that they don't have to no longer live like this, we'll begin to see the change that is needed within our community. So our community has suffered under manipulative strongholds of poverty and lack and pollution for years. I know all of my life we have. And the sugar company has seriously been the puppet master. They have hired weak-minded agents, which is in our local government, which is in our churches, which is in some of the people's, even in the communities. They have these backroom meetings, and you got to be a part of this elite group and try to make other people feel as though they're absolutely nothing. And then they go and they manipulate the people and they try to fear the people and make them not say absolutely anything as they do the dirty work for the sugar company. And you have ones like me and Steve and Brother Robert that goes out and speak and tell the truth. And because of that, you get attacked. Because of that, your character, they try to tear down your character and try to make it seem like we're trying to come against the sugar company. We're trying to take the jobs away from the community. I'm talking about the community that we've grown and lived in all of our life, the community that we don't plan on going anywhere and leaving. We talking about the communities that, you know, we want to see people thrive and have jobs, and we want to see better in our community. So why would we take from, you know, our community that we love? But they're in the paint, they're fighting, and they're coming against, and they're really demolishing the narrative. And they lie to the people and say, oh, well, they're trying to close down the sugar mill. Oh, they're trying to take away the job. They're trying to know. And the most humbling thing that I realize is we're in a fight where we're fighting for the ones that's fighting against us. When you're humble enough to fight for, because we're not just fighting for the ones in our house, we're not just fighting for the people in the community, even the local leaders, even those that tearing down our character, even those that coming up against us, we're absolutely fighting for them and their family as well, because it's not about us. It's totally about us being able to see transformation in a community that has been left behind, that has been ran by those that has thrown the whole community and their family under the bus. And now that we're in this pandemic, it's even worse, because you still have the burning that will burn for 6 to 8 months during the pandemic, and to not even consider our lives when what we're going through with the COVID is already attacking the respiratory system. Now we have the burning, so that's double impact. And we live in a community that always go through hurricane seasons and things like that. We have to prepare. We have to be prepared for all of those things. We got to be prepared, try to get our people prepared to stay safe so that the numbers don't continue to rise. We got to get, some people can't come outside because of the burning and the pandemic. And then you have us that a people, a community that is never prepared for something that happens almost every year, and that's the hurricane season. Never prepared for that. And I remember when I tried to put together an event, you know, for the community to help them to prepare themselves for hurricane season. And they came against the local government, and people came against me so heavy because I guess they wanted the recognition. It wasn't about that. It was about getting the people prepared, getting everything that is needed for my communities. And that's what I've been doing for years through my nonprofit organization. I've been, asking people to collaborate with me, and I've been feeding the people, and I've been, giving out care packages and giving out masks and hand sanitizers and wipes and jackets and socks and different things like that to help the peoples in the community. You have this big multi-billion company that's not doing none of that, but still you come and you slowly kill us. I was so excited about 3 weeks ago. I was out and I was doing some filming, and I seen where they was actually green harvesting within the middle of the community beside the schools. And I'm like, this is what we've been fighting for all this time. And to know that, it encouraged me to know that, my fight is not in vain. We know that this proved that they have the equipment, they have the knowledge, they have everything that is needed to start with a 30-mile buffer zone around in our community and around our community. I said start with it and then phase out. They have what it takes to do that. They choose not to do that. So I think somebody to mute because I'm messing up. The name of my nonprofit organization is Her Queendom Inc. Her Queendom Inc. And I've been for years pouring back into my community and meeting the needs of the people in my community. Every hurricane season, I have people who collaborate with me, even the Sierra Club. We pour back into the communities, meeting the needs, making sure that people have the necessities that they need to be able to survive through the hurricane season, even through the pandemic. I poured back into so I right now our community still is in need for masks, still need face shields, we still need sanitizers, wipes. We still need to be educated now. I work in the medical field, and I see how people don't change their masks. Their masks are dirty. They put their mask on, they don't cover their nose. And it's all because it's so hard to breathe because they already battle with respiratory problems. They already battle with respiratory problems. And now you got to put something that's going to cut off your air circulation. So we have to get these people educated, and we get them to understand how to get in the fight, because we don't know how long we're going to be in this pandemic. We don't know how it's going to last. And we can't continue to be in this pandemic, dealing with this COVID-19 and dealing with burning at the same time. And then if we have from a hurricane, it's going to be disastrous. So I appreciate y'all coming on board. I appreciate y'all coming. I don't know where they're coming from. It's just all of
Kina, I'm so sorry. I asked people to mute, and they have. So I'm not sure either, but we're getting what you said. The only clarification, you said masks are needed. What other items specifically again?
Yeah, we're needing masks, face shield, sanitizer, wipes, disinfectant spray. A lot of people like to use gloves, but I don't think it's necessary to really transfer a lot of germs. It protects the person, but it does not protect everybody else. But we have people that are elderly that use them because they're so afraid and they don't understand and not educated on it.
Okay.
Kina,
All right.
Kina, try maybe turning off your video. I think we got the basic list, but there was some static, and I think everybody's pretty much muted, so I'm not sure. That might help. So may I ask?
Ted, please mute. Okay, I think it's better now. All right, so Queendom Inc. And we will try to get a list of these things and then figure out a way to get them out to you. And financial donations, we will discuss. If there's a button on a website, maybe you could put the website in the chat, Kina. If you heard that, repeat that.
I couldn't understand what you said.
Do you have a website that you could put into our chat where we could send checks, or some people want to do that?
I don't have my website is being built right now. I do have Facebook page, and I am a 501c3. I am a 501c3, so I can give that information so everybody will know my nonprofit is legit.
Okay, I suggest in the next month or two that we ask you to write an article for the Turtle Tracks newsletter explaining what your current needs are and how we could best help. And that could be when your website is ready to launch. Whenever that is, we could accept an article. And we'll be in further conversation about it, though. Okay.
I really appreciate it. Can I just add one more thing too?
I'm going to actually mute everybody. I'm going to mute everyone, Kina, so you're going to have to unmute.
Okay, it's better now.
Yeah.
So I just want to really speak about Nikki Freed. Nikki Freed just really like rubbed us the wrong way, how she handled the whole situation when it comes to stopping the burn sugarcane, and how she have really just overlooked and just ignored all of our requests and all of us the times we tried to communicate with her. And I just think that it's just so toxic of her character to come to us and to ask us to help her to get voted in this position, and to say that what we're telling her is the truth and that she's going to do everything that she can to help us in this situation, because she saw when she came here that what we were saying was the truth, you know. And then when you get in a position, you turn your back on us, and then you do everything to help protect the company that you talk so badly about with us and said you didn't want to have absolutely nothing to do with. And then now you leave us hanging when you're in a position where you can help and help to save many people's lives. We have elderly people that has been told that they need to, if they want to live and prolong their life, they need to leave and move and go somewhere else when they living off a fixed income. People that we got the highest unemployment rate, and you got young women and men here with kids that can't even do activities in school because they suffer with asthma, because they have respiratory problems. They can't dance, they can't play sports because of that. Why? Because our schools is wrapped with sugarcane and they burn. And she turns a blind eye to it as if it's not going on, but she acted like she was so interested when she was running for this position. So how much worse it gonna be if she called herself want to run for governor? Are you serious? Are you serious right now? I mean, every chance I get to open my mouth, I will call Nikki Free out because it's not right how she handling things, because you're not looking out for humans. You're not looking out for our lives. You're not looking out for our lives. You wanted our votes, and then you turned your back on us. You wanted our votes, and then you turned your back on us. And so I just wanted the opportunity to speak on that, because that is just like very corrupt to me. And that's how I feel about it. Thank you. Now,
Thank you, Keena.
we can hear from Colin now.
Okay, Colin.
All right.
You might need to unmute. Yep, you got it.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all so very much for allowing us here in the Glades to be a part of what you're doing in Loxahatchee and beyond. Thank you, Pat, for helping us to be where we are today, as far as reaching out to our neighboring communities. For so many years, we here in the Glades, we have felt ostracized. We have, felt alone, being a part of Palm Beach County, just being a part of wanting better for us here in the Glades. Of course, over the history of everything, I'm preaching to the choir. I'm quite sure everyone here knows about the history of the Glades, as far as the lack of opportunities as it pertains to just a better quality of life for us here in the Glades area. We have watched for so many years, our neighboring communities to the east, Loxahatchee, Wellington, Royal Palm, all of our neighboring cities where you have grown over the years, and you have grown, based on a lack of opportunity here in the Glades. A lot of our community members have moved into Royal Palm, Loxahatchee, Wellington, to seek a better way of life for themselves and their families. So our community has not moved or went away as far as the powers that be may want us to think that we're so separate until we're not together. But I want us to know that the Glades community has always been a part of our new and upcoming communities, Loxahatchee, Royal Palm, Wellington. We have always been a part of that, and we have always appreciated that. Anyone that wants upward mobility, we in the Glades, we support that and appreciate that. But of course, we want that for us here in the Glades community. So I appreciate the Sierra Club and Patrick for everything that you're doing to bring attention, to a lot of the things that we're faced with here in the Glades community. Of course, we're here talking about the Stop the Burn, which is in my estimation, a basic human right, a basic environmental right, a basic justice when it comes to just demanding a better quality of air. As we know, here in the Glades community, it's well documented. It's no secret about all of the things that we're faced with here in the community when it comes to just wanting a better quality of life here in the community. And as a minority community, for the most part, trying to bring attention to these things is not very easy, because money and power tends to take precedence over just the basic quality of life for humanity. So and once again, I know I'm preaching to the choir, but I want us to really, as a community of individuals that want to see better for all, that we really consider helping here in the Glades community to bring more attention to what's happening here, to the residents just west of you all. You know, one of the things that I really want to share about is the political climate here, and how our local elected officials are not pushing for the betterment of the community when it comes to the quality of life. You know, we're very much in the community. We're very much controlled by the industry. You know, when individuals are seeking office, or when individuals are elected into office, the industry, for the most part, tends to, when I speak of the industry, I'm talking about the sugar industry. For the most part, they tend to control the voices of our local elected officials. And of course, it's done under the auspices of fear mongering, you know, from the industry. You know, a couple of ways that this is done in the community, of course, is the threat of jobs, where our community is constantly under the threat of, because we're seeking a better quality of life, and we want our industry to be a better business partner, a better business neighbor to us, the people who not only work in the industry, but choose to want to live and play, and just want to have a quality of life here in the community that anyone would want to seek in any other community. Just to know that our industry would be juxtaposed to that is just appalling, you know. So I really appreciate the opportunity to come and speak to our neighboring community that has an ear, you know, the individuals that are in control, that are making these decisions. You know, they live amongst you, just east of us. You know, these are your neighbors, these are your friends, these are individuals that you may you know, congregate with while you're playing golf, while you're you know, in the polo clubs, or whatever the case may be. You know, we can't continue to allow those individuals to be hidden in the shadows, so to speak, as if they're not a part of us, as if they're not human. You know, as I think of the community for the most part speak of individuals who are in authority, who are affluent. We speak of them as if they're untouchable, you know, as if they're like the boogeyman, so to speak, you know, as if they're not real people, you know. And we just have to do away with that sort of rhetoric to put us all together, to understand that we're in this all together. You know, we just can't keep looking at the bottom line, you know, the dollar, you know, to shape our futures. Our futures are bigger than the bottom line, you know. So I'm really pleased to say that there is a movement here in the Glades to seek justice on every front, not only justice when it comes to our justice system, but it's justice for the environmental justice that we're seeking here, economical justice that we're seeking here in the Glades community. You know, there are many things that can be done to help this community to become all that it can be. You know, we are challenged with housing. I would like to speak upon, you know, things such as here in our community. I live in Pahokee, and we have opened here in our community, not even I would say not even a fourth of a mile away from my home. We have a homeless shelter. Not that we here in the community do not want to support those that who are challenged with housing when it comes to raising your family, but we understand that we're used here in this community. Those of us that are paying attention, you would open up a homeless shelter in Pahokee, a community that's already challenged with on so many different levels, but you are now bringing individuals into our community with other challenges that we're not equipped really to handle. We know our community is faced with unemployment. There are no jobs here. So why would we want to encourage individuals who are faced with homelessness? Why would we want to bring them to Pahokee to basically, bring individuals who are challenged with so many different things to a community that's underserved in so many different areas, but yet our local officials are touting this as if it's, whoa, look, we got a homeless shelter in the community. Well, here in the city of Pahokee, I may know of maybe 2 or 3 individuals who are challenged with homelessness, and they're challenged from a different perspective. They're not challenged with homelessness as in to say, oh, I don't have a place to stay. They're challenged with, drug addiction. They're challenged with poverty. They're challenged with other things outside of homelessness. But we understand and we watch and we see what's happening in our eastern communities. Lake Worth, and we know about the parks that over there that our eastern communities are challenged with housing. And now all of a sudden we see those individuals in a community such as the Glades, where we're already challenged. So it's one of these things where we just need to be fear in our community with our government elected officials to understand across the board that our community needs realistic support here. We do not need individuals who are who is going to just basically, their whole strategy is just to self-enrich themselves, who are to just basically take advantage of a community that's already strapped, in so many different levels. When we think about it, the city of Belgrade has a city manager making upwards of $225,000 to be the city manager of Belgrade. The city manager of South Bay, 140 plus thousand. The city manager of Pahokee, 140 something plus $1,000. Individuals are just taking advantage of communities who are already who are really hurting, and we just need attention to be brought to it. From those of us who are on this call that can has the ability to bring forth media attention, to bring forth legal attention, so we can start taking legal action as a community to really push back against a lot of the ills that we're faced with. And the community, we're ready. A lot of us are returning home. I am a native of the area. I went off to college. I graduated high school in 1992. I went off to college, pursuing many dreams and aspirations. And now I'm back home. And it is so disappointing to see the same individuals that really encouraged me as a young man to go off and acquire as much as I need to acquire. And I was encouraged to come back home and to support my community. But when I came home, just to see those same individuals now, they are, they've been consumed by a lot of the ilk that's going on here in the community. And they're highly respected individuals. So no one is going to speak out against them or go against them, or, because they're the pastors, they are the teachers, they are they're everything to the community. They help to raise us. But those are the same individuals who are holding us back from the life that those of us that have went off and want to come home and enjoy our community. They're the ones that's really in the way, so to speak, and holding us back. It's really hurtful, and I'm pouring my heart out because I'm hoping that my neighbors in Loxahatchee and Royal Palm and Wellington and the Palm Beach County and Florida in general, because I know we're from all over the place. to understand what's really happening here in this community that we say we bless the world with our agricultural paralysis, our soil, but we forget about the people. The people of this area is really forgotten about because we just talk about the soil and the agriculture and, and sugar and lettuce and cabbage and beets and, but we tend to forget about the people that help to make these things happen. And finally, my final point that I would like to make is that here in our community, we have a struggle that our industry has created between our Black and brown community, where our Black and brown community have been pitted against one another. I don't know if you have noticed that not so many or too many of our brown brothers and sisters are really involved in the fight against the industry, because the industry has used the tactic and the trick of, well, we're going to employ you and we're going to unemploy our Black brothers and sisters. So now we're going to give you opportunity, but take opportunity away from another. I say that based on if you look at our housing here, what we call the camps, our camp areas. Those camp areas were traditionally housed with individuals from the Caribbean islands. That's how my family came here to this area many years ago, and the area was built on Caribbean culture, Caribbean aspect. But now I can go down Fifth Avenue A in Belgrade, where all these were Black businesses, and all those things have been since torn apart because the industry said, you know what, we're not going to practice green harvesting, so to speak, because they were burning the fields then, but they were still utilizing labor to cut. So the industry advanced itself and say, oh, we're moving away from manual labor and we're going to mechanical labor. But here it is today in 2021, the community is filled of a lot of Black individuals who are unemployed. But now we're seeing a lot of our Black brown brothers and sisters. They're the ones who are on the bus. So it's creating this type of me against you type of atmosphere amongst the people here in the community, and that's being perpetrated by the industry. It's a lot that's going on here, but I thank you all so very much for giving me a listening ear. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Ms. Smith, for allowing me to be here. Keenan, thank you so very much for everything that you're doing. Because we're in a difficult situation.
Well, thank you, Colin. Mary might be able to go through the chat and bring up some questions. While she's doing it, I would like to say, Colin, I agree that I think the industry needs to evolve. Just like you said, it used to be back-breaking work and it evolved, and it used to burn, but it needs to evolve. And we just have to figure out who to convince, how to convince them. I don't know. And I'll let you folks go ahead. Mary, if you unmute, you can go through the chat.
Robert Mitchell has joined us.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Good. We're happy you made it.
Oh, listen, I was trying because this is very important, and I appreciate everybody for taking up the time that you have. And I would like to say shout out to my brother Patrick. Thank you for the wonderful job that you've been doing. Thank you, Soldier. Thank you to my sister Keena. I got a chance to hear you speaking so passionately and telling the truth. I appreciate you for that. And Colin, as always, bringing it in and bringing it home for our community. I appreciate you, former mayor, should be still mayor. I appreciate you. So what I want to say to you guys, first of all, just thank everybody that's intending, everybody that made this happen today. And thank you for listening to The Glaze. I'm traveling right now, so I appreciate getting the opportunity to tap in. But I just wanted to let you know, please stay tapped into The Glaze. Me being one of the original founders of the Muck City Black Lives Matter, a lot of things that you heard today should answer that question of why does Black lives matter? Why do they matter? And we see the issues right now where we have a community that are facing things that a lot of you on this live probably couldn't even imagine. Constant smoke. And then when we talk about the smoke in our health, we can't even focus there, because as Colin mentioned, we go into the political side, and we have handcuffs, we have gatekeepers, we have people straight from the muck that are allowing our muck to sink, and allowing the people in it to sink as well. But I'm glad that I have the opportunity, and I joined in. For you all that don't know, I am a candidate for Belle Glade City Commission, Seat D. This is my third time running. This is my third fight for my city, because they are worth it. They are worth it. And I just want to help continue to beautify the Palm Beaches. We know we're all in Palm Beach County right now, one of the richest counties. So how can any of us be content with knowing that it's a part of us that is suffering and underprivileged? None of us should be okay with that. None of us should be okay with that. But we don't have to complain about the issues. We can focus on the solutions that we have. That's why I appreciate the Sierra Club and their partnering with us with our Go Green harvesting campaign, because that's going to bring prosperity to our community. And I think, and I also appreciate the Sierra Club for coming in and being a part of the Black Lives Matter press conference that we had for Muck City, because that is showing that, you guys are involved and concerned in every area, because we have a lot of areas to fix in the muck, but you have some people that are ready. We have some people that are prepared, and we're straight from the muck. As you see with my sister Keena, as you see with my brother Colin, and we don't recruit Patrick. He's our brother as well. So as you see with all of us, we're doing what we need to do to bring the attention that we need, and hopefully on March the 9th, I can secure a position in what I like to call the holdbacks of Belle Glade, which is the political arena. That's the only reason that I'm going there. I've tried my best when I came in, because I'm straight from Belle Glade. I graduated from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, and then I moved off to Los Angeles to see some better things and bring some opportunities so I can come back and share with my community. Well, when I tried to come and do that, my people, I did not have the arms open out to me. They treated me as if I was a stranger, and I didn't understand that. That made no sense to me. But it makes sense when you look at the politics of everything. And like you say, as Colin mentioned, you have a city manager making actually is $235,000 a year, the second highest paid in Palm Beach County. So to everybody listening, that would be all right. That salary will be all right to me if we could see the production of a $235,000 city manager, meaning that when you guys come from Loxahatchee, you're saying, hey, let me go down and have a beautiful day down in Belle Glade up on the lake. Let me go visit Pahokee. Let us go do some fishing. Let us go downtown Belle Glade, because Country Boy Catering is there cooking. I did a little plug to myself, guys. I'm a chef, if you don't know. But just many other opportunities that we have. So we want to partner along with Palm Beach County to help live out the dream, and actually live out the word that was spoken over Belle Glade. For you guys that don't know, the very meaning of Belle Glade means the most beautiful space. The most beautiful space. That includes Belle Glade, Pahokee, and South Bay. Because when you look over that land, we was blessed with it. And to have our beautiful Lake Okeechobee, how dare we not take advantage of that? And how dare we not invite you, our neighbors, like Loxahatchee down? You know what I'm saying? But we're working on some things right now. So I thank you again for doing all that you guys have done. Thank you for tuning in, and for helping the light continue to burn and shed some light on the disadvantages that we have in Muck City. But however, I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic with the energy that I'm experiencing here. So we all shall. We will do what we need to do. I have every confidence in that, and I appreciate you again, Sierra Club. Thank you for all that you're doing in your voice, and I appreciate you guys. Everybody have a blessed day. Thank you for letting me come in and speak. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. It's been a pleasure. And I know you're representing a business. Do you also have a nonprofit? Because our other speakers, I know Ms. Keena has Queendom Inc. And Colin is the health organization directing the Bridges of Belle Glade. Do you have a nonprofit?
I don't have a nonprofit as of yet. However, what I do have is Muck City Black Lives Matter. And we're absolutely. And what this is a grassroots effort. This is made up of community leaders such as Keena, such as Colin, you know what I'm saying, that have come together all to look at every issue in our community and address it from a platform that we can get support in from the outside. So we're still building that. That just been put out there in November. So you can imagine we're still getting things together, but I'm in the middle of a campaign and everything else. So y'all pray for me, but to God be the glory, and things are coming together.
Yeah, well, all blessings to all three of you, and Patrick too. We're delighted that you're passionate. You obviously have a lot of work ahead in a way, but we're here. We are a strong advocate for the environment, and we have been working at this, as you have, of course you have, for a long time. So we're looking for a turnaround very soon. And whatever we can do, and specifically, what is the best way to stay tapped in to all three of you? What's the best way we can help? And I'd like to hear from all three of you. What is the best way we can help?
Well, I'll speak first since I'm still off of mute. And what I would say, first of all, to the Sierra Club, which was interesting too, you guys have been at it a long time. You guys started in California, which is interesting. So I really took that to heart. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? So we both went to and seen some things in California that was able to bring us and spread out around the world. So that I love the concept of that, and that's what I would like to do. But you can reach me right now. With the best thing that you can do for me, I'm in the middle of a campaign for you guys that don't know. I really would love donations. If you can donate to the campaign, I need it. As you all know, that if you're not a part of the machine, you're doing everything on your own, and I am not a part of the machine. So I would love your support, whatever you can give in. I need a lot of things right now still to get done in the campaign. I just had some people calling for some things, and I'm like, my people, it takes resources. But I'm optimistic because I have gotten a lot of resources. Just need more. That's all. So anybody that can do that, that's the way you can help me. You can find me at Robert for BG. Robert for BG on Instagram, Robert for BG on Facebook. You can also email me at robertforbg@gmail.com, and you can and I can give you any information that you need about my campaign, my purpose, and also my donation link. But those are ways that you can help right now. And I need all your help, because if we're gonna partner together, if we're gonna fight things that we need for our environment, we have to have people in place that understands the common sense of it. Not the complications of it, but the common sense of it. And we all deserve healthier options. We all deserve to breathe better. We all deserve nice neighborhoods, so that we can, when your neighborhoods are nice, you rarely have to worry about anybody else messing with you. They got their own house.
Robert, so we want to get this down. So is it Robert #4BG@gmail.com?
Oh, no. It is Robert 4 FOR BG. So Robert for BG at gmail.com. And also Robert, yes.
Mm-hmm. I've just put that into the chat for all of you who want to be in touch with Robert about specifically donating.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much.
We need to connect, make these bridges here for you. And we are here for you. Also, what is the Muckteenth Committee? We had a question for Colin. If Colin is here.
Yes, I'm still here. The Muckteenth Committee is a committee that was created around the concept of celebrating Black achievement. Of course, the concept came, it's a play, of course, we're saying Muckteenth, but it's a play off of Juneteenth. Of course, if we don't know, Juneteenth was June 19th is recognized as the day of emancipation of slaves here in America. Of course, it started in Texas, and of course, if we don't know, it took a long time before it was nationally recognized by slaves to know that they were actually freed. June 19th, the message actually spread throughout the country. So that's why we recognize June 19th as the day that we celebrate the emancipation of slaves. But we here in the Muck, we placated on that, and we call ourselves Muckteenth. Because here in our community, a lot of individuals do not know and understand that we have been on the forefront of fighting here in the Glades for justice on many fronts for many years. But the history of that has been lost over the many years. So we want to revitalize the fight that we have been involved for many years here in the Glades. And we felt as if we can utilize Juneteenth to help bring forward things such as Stop the Burn, things such as Black Lives Matter, things such as justice on many fronts, So we look for support for that. We have been doing it virtually. Our first celebration was last year. We did a virtual celebration, and the community response was extremely overwhelming to a video that we brought forward to celebrate the many African American pioneers here within the community. People just became so hungry to know about the history here in the Glades. So we want to continue to bring that forward, because we know and understand that an individual that understands their past will not tend to repeat that past. So we have to keep the fight on the forefront. We have been fighting the industry from the beginning of time. I don't know if you all remember one of our, and I must say this, a lot of the times us here in the Glades, betrayal is one of the things that we have been served up with over many years. I don't know if you all remember over the years where we had our local laborers who tried to formulate a union to fight against the industry because of the working conditions. And betrayal became a part of that because the industry recruited one of our very own. You know, they recruited our own attorney. Mr. Willie Gary defended the industry against the people and actually won that suit against the people, one of our very own that fought against. So you can imagine the type of despair that created for the people. Of course, he got a notch up under his belt as an attorney, but the people were so discouraged. And when one of our own actually did something like that, and that's something that his classmates talk about. These are individuals that 70, 65, 75 years of age in the community. They talk about that on how he's a celebrated attorney, but he's celebrated by being one of the individuals that fought against the people. So it's one of the things that the community is trying to deal with, still trying to heal from to this day. Individuals, even within my own family that worked in the industry, that the industry of a personal story of my uncle who retired from the industry, and the industry fought against retirement of the people, and this is a gentleman that gave 40 plus years. When my uncle retired, he was dead like 2 years later. He did not even get to enjoy a life after retirement. But the money, the compensation that was due to him through life insurance and all the things that was due to him, the industry fought against that to cut it, and they won. They won. It was it's so hurtful, the things that they have done over the years. It's one of the things that the story just needs to be completely told and shared with the world, and not to know that, it's not just about the soil and the vegetables that's produced and things like that, but there are actually people behind this. When we say the farming industry, we tend to only think about the person that's profiteering, the fun jewels and all of those that profiteer, but they're actual real people who are suffering behind what's going on within our industry. And we're not against I'm really humbled by Keena, because her husband works for the industry. So she's battling on one side of it, but her husband is employed by the industry. So you can just imagine the kind of tension that could possibly create. Thank God for Jesus that she's a woman of God. He's a man of God, that It's not destroying their household, because they can come to an understanding in their home that, hey, I can earn a living and fight for what's right at the same time. The two are not separated from one another. It's never, the two are never separated, but the industry tries its best to separate that, we'll threaten you with your job existence if you dare try to say you need better conditions. You need the industry to put more back into the community. This is a billions of dollar industry, and they're finding it hard strapped to help the people who help them to earn or make billions of dollars. It's just asinine to me. They're so counterproductive until they just don't even see it and realize it. What are you going to do when all of the people that take care of your fields are gone? What are you going to do? They're just, and they're in our schools trying to, I was fortunate as a mayor to hear some of the back conversations of what they're threatened with. They're threatened with people not wanting to be involved in the industry anymore, but they're trying to find a way. How can we con, because they're not trying to legitimately work with the community. They just want to con the community back into the fields. My uncles and a couple of cousins that worked in the field, they're all older than myself. They worked in the field so that we will not have to be in the fields. That was their whole thing. They were like, I'll sacrifice my life so that you will not have to do it, but the industry just don't get it. They just don't get it.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's so many parallels to even the tobacco industry. There is a addiction there to the sugar, and they have created it. It is quite long and lengthy, generations in length. So hopefully we'll get this really up to the head, raise it up to the top where we can make this happen. So Patrick has a link for the Stop the Burn campaign leader, Steve Messam, in the chat. So Steve, just tell us about Steve again, and
just wanted to add that another founding member who some of you have been following our campaign for some time would be familiar with, Steve Messam, is currently running for office, a separate seat right now. So I just shared a link to his campaign too. And for those of you who are interested, there's a link to donate too. And just imagine two leaders not tied to the machine being able to step foot in a local office in Belle Glade. And the industry knows the threat that this poses. I mean, on social media, you should see some of the attack ads. They've gone as far as to call Stephen Roberts Sierra Club puppets, are just trying to don't listen to anything they say, because they're trying to put the industry out of business, which is the best defense they have, because both Steve and Robert have been so eloquently bringing to the forefront all these issues that we're talking about here, and it's resonating with the community. So, there really is a local revolution of sorts happening within the Glades, which is really exciting to see. And I do believe that a local change in the power dynamics in the Glades community could have an impact all the way up to Tallahassee. And then all the way up to the federal government. Because if you look and break down the sugar industry's influence and what they fall back on as their go-to justification, they put themselves forward as, we are the Glades community. Without us, there is no Glades community. So if you do anything that goes against our interests, you're destroying these communities. But by highlighting the voices of the true leaders within the community that's cutting through that illusion. And that illusion is really the anchor of their, support and their political machine that they use in Tallahassee and that they use in Washington, D.C. And if you see a change of people, taking control of the community and steering it in a direction that is going towards the best interest for the people of the Glades community, not just for the interests of a singular industry, that's going to have some long range, far reaching impacts. And local leaders stopped the burn campaign, and Colin Keena, who you're hearing from tonight, and we have other members who've tuned in too. They're really at the forefront of this movement. So in drawing attention to that, I think as far as next steps go, that this is just a start, right? And I think it brought up a great idea of Keena doing a write-up in the turtle tracks, and then maybe just kind of obviously staying in constant contact as far as what's going on, and maybe at meetings providing regular updates for what's going on in the Glades, and then the Loxahatchee group sharing opportunities that arises with various programs, and so that the community leaders in the Glades can share those opportunities with folks in the Glades as well, could help further build those bridges. And so I think it's best maybe for a follow-up email. Some of the links and everything we discussed here can be sent. And also we could share with you the Muckteenth Committee virtual event video, which was just very well done. And that can give you a better idea of everything Colin was talking about. And those are just some of my ideas going forward.
Okay, so Linda, do you agree we could open it up for one or two questions from our audience?
Maybe just one or two. And Mary, you can capture this chat, correct? And
yes, I just did. Yeah.
Okay, and we can send out these links. We'll try to send out an email to everyone that attended. I believe Mary also has a list of attendees, so that you can have all this information. It's great information and we need to use it. Are there any other questions or comments?
Okay, if not, then we conclude this evening with lots of ideas of connecting through all our different ways. Facebook, I'm thinking if you all use Facebook, of the three panelists, I don't know, with all the tension around the issues with U.S. Sugar, whether you do. I thought I might have heard Keena say she has a Facebook page. And if so, maybe she'll put that in the chat or get it to Patrick so we can connect with her as a Facebook friend. Okay. So great meeting, everyone.
Yep. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Mark your calendar for Thursday, March 25th for the Lake Worth Lagoon Watershed, its history and current fight.
Oh, there is one question from Lita Purcell. She has a few questions. She's a college student working on water quality. Let's see if you could unmute and ask one question, Lita. I guess can you unmute? Okay, I'll give her two.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, everyone. Okay, so this was my first meeting with the Sierra Club, and I have to say I'm very impressed. I enjoyed listening to everyone. I probably shouldn't tell you that my family was highly involved in the sugar industry. So it was very interesting. They're not now, but they were. And my husband was actually born and raised in Belglade. So I understand a lot of the conversations. He is a muck boy. So, listening to a lot of the things was very interesting. So I am a college student. I'm currently a registered nurse, and I'm working on my bachelor's. And so our project this particular time was to create a campaign for a health determinant, a health risk, something to do with our nursing degree. And so I chose to do environmental contamination and the health risk to the pediatric population. I actually do live in the Loxahatchee area, but I'm a little more east between Bay Hill and Ibis. But I've been here since 1970, so I've seen a lot of the changes. And so I'm very aware of a lot of the environmental contamination, the things that have gone on here in this neighborhood. And the fact that you guys were talking about the sugar industry was great, because it would lead into what I was looking for, which is if anybody had any insight on the biggest contributors to environmental contamination in the Western communities, meaning from Loxahatchee West, Belglade, Clewiston, all of those areas. I know the farms are big. I know that the sugarcane, the burning, I know that causes air pollution, affects asthma and other respiratory illnesses for children. My particular project was geared more towards environmental contamination of well water and the industrial toxic waste. I know that if you are familiar with the pediatric cancer cluster that was here in the area in 2010, those sites that were involved with that contamination are still in existence in the community. We have a lot of different things that can create environmental contamination. So if anybody had any comments or anything that they would throw out that would help me to understand the biggest contributors, I know fertilizers, pesticides, those kind of things throw out a lot of nitrites, phosphorus. They seep through the soil. They go into the permeable aquifer system. I know that the regulations, you were talking about some of the things that the sugar industry did, which was to turn against people that have given a lot of their lives. And one of the things that I found interesting was that when you're dealing with environmental contamination as it pertains to well water, a lot of us in the Western communities are dependent on well water. And some do have municipal water, but not everyone. The federal, state, and local laws that protect municipality water do not pertain to those on private wells. There are no regulations for them. So a lot of times parents, especially those new to the community, they don't know and may not know where to find information for that reason, to understand that there is no regulations to protect them. So any information that would benefit the project I'm working on would be greatly appreciated.
Rita, I suggest you put your email in the chat. I see Colin has put his information in the chat, and I think it'd be great if you guys, got together.
Okay.
And maybe there'd be, a paper or an article in the Palm Beach Post, or, let's see how far we can go with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I would be more than happy to do that. I've actually read some articles, one specifically on a sod farm out there, which I learned about biosolids. So that was a rather interesting topic for me to learn about, and understanding the ways that this really affects communities and people and health. And when I don't remember which one of you said it, but when politics and money override human health, we have a really big issue. And I think that I'm not a pediatric nurse. I don't know why I chose to do this subject. It's been the hardest subject, and it has made this class the hardest class that I have taken. But it's been well worth it. It's been very frustrating. I did appreciate being able to attend the meeting and listen to all of the thoughts and the processes, because it really ties in with what I'm doing. It was just on a different industry that's creating the pollution in that area.
Okay.
Well, okay, I'm glad you were able to join this group. And if any of the panelists are still on the call, if you wanted to respond to Lita, if not, we are going to conclude, because it's getting past our 9 o'clock hour. Okay, so.
Lita, I just, I'll put in my email address in the chat box, and you can follow up with any more questions going forward, because yes, I think there is information we have access to that you might find helpful for your research.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And Lita, I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you so much for your time and all the information. And it's good to know that your husband is a good muck boy as well. So let us know that we're still fighting and we're still trying to do some things together. And everything that you're giving here, I know that you have some great associations here. So thank you again for your time.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you all for all of the information. Again, this is my first time being at a Sierra Club meeting, and it was awesome. It was awesome to see people coming together and fighting for the same cause, which is human health, which is, for the community as a whole, and making sure that when you are fighting, it's inclusive and diverse. And those are the things that are just really, really important. And that goes along with healthcare. We have to make sure that healthcare and, the health advocacy is diverse and includes everyone, every race, every gender, every age, from our young to our old. It really has to be inclusive all the way around. So I do appreciate being able to listen and participate. It was great.
Okay, I think Sheila, one of our members, expresses this. She says, exceptional program tonight. I hope it raises awareness on what the people in the Glades are doing through the contamination of the air, with the burning and the diseases the people are suffering from, which is a direct result. We will all stand up and say, we will not take this anymore. Thank you all, and let's keep on going. Okay, so.
Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. Have a blessed night. Absolutely.
Have a blessed one.
You as well.
Thank you all again.
Thank you. All right, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Good night.